Hi guys, welcome back to Balls Fan TV, and today we're back with another video doing the match preview for tomorrow's game against SLIGO Rovers at the Showgrounds. Weather permitting anyway, we'll all be heading up west for the first away game of the season. Look, I think we should be fine for now anyway. I don't think the rain is as bad as it is here out west, so for now anyway, I think we should be okay. But yeah, it's a tough game. We always speak about it when we go to the Showgrounds, how difficult SLIGO are to play against. We saw that last season. We had some tough games against them. They're a very well, organised team, and we saw that in their first game against Derry last week. Anyone who watched that game will tell you they probably should have came away with a point at the very least. They got their noses in front and defended really well. But two late goals from Derry swung the game in their favour. And Sligo came away with a defeat where they definitely should have gotten a point, or maybe even a win on another day. So look. I think for them anyway, and with them being at home in this game, there'll be a bit more pressure on them to try and approach it in a more attacking way, and I think that's where maybe the problems could arise for Sligo. Losing their top goal scorer last season, Owen Elding, and there's just been some worries about where the goals might come from. But you could probably say the same thing about us. We saying in the opening game against Pats at the Aviva last Sunday. At the back, I thought we were good. We never really looked like conceding. We looked really solid. But up front, we were fairly blunt. Didn't really offer any threat until Colin Whelan came on. So look, I think we can all agree we want to see a starting here, whether that's Colin Whelan or someone else, Hugh Martin. Douglas James Taylor, if he's fit, we don't know yet, but if he was to be back, I think that would be a massive plus. But I think in this game, I can probably see us having a lot of the ball. Even though Sligo are at home, I think they'll probably stick to what they do best, which is being very good, defensively, being organised, and then offering that bit of a threat on the counter attack. So look, it's very important that we don't see another performance like we had done a lot of last season, where we have the ball in plenty of good areas and we're trying to orchestrate something, but we just can't find that final bit of end product. I think that was the main frustration from last season, that we failed to kill off a lot of games or put teams to the sword. So that's something we're going to have to be looking to improve on. But on the lineup, I think we'll probably see the same formation. We'll probably still see the back three. So Casper in goal, back three then of Hickey, Sam Todd, and I think I would go with Jordan Flores. You could see Senna Mullen staying there. Even at times he was a left wing back for the Pats game, but I think I'd probably have Flores as the third centre half, just so we could bring Dale Rooney in. So that's where I'd have him in at left wing back. Two centre mids then, I think it would be Dawson Devoy and James McManus. Right wing back, Dara Power. And then I think we, in the first half anyway, had Parsons as kind of a false nine, which didn't really work, let's be honest. We really failed to create anything of note when we went with that in the first half against Pat. So I think I'd have Tierney and Harry Vaughan just behind Colin Whelan. Thought he was really good when he came on. Just brought that bit of quality, bit of a presence up front. That it's a goal threat, but can also bring others into play as well. So if Douglas James Taylor still isn't fit to make the squad, I think I'd have Colin Whelan starting up front, like I said, with Ross Tierney and Harry Vaughan just behind them. I'm sure we're all excited to see more of Harry Vaughan. Put in a really good performance against Pats, showed plenty of flashes of quality. So, let's see what more he can offer. I can see this game being a little bit scrappy, especially if the conditions aren't so great. It always is when we go up to the Showgrounds. Last season, we get the late winner from Mills, but that was a bit of a scrappy game. I think we had a 0-0 draw as well. So it's never really a classic when we go up here. But look, if we can just get the 3 points, that's all that matters. Starting off the season with a draw and a win, away in the Showgrounds, I think we'd all take that, and I think we will get the job done. Like I said, I don't expect it to be an enthralling game of football, but I think we'll make it by the goal. It may take another, Millside-like game where we just keep chipping away, for most of the game, especially in the second half, and something just falls for us late on. Wouldn't be at all surprised if we saw something like that here. But yeah, I think there will be, the onus will be on us to win the game here. Sligo, like we said, will probably set up in a way that will frustrate us, and you know they look to pick us off in the counter with the kind of quality that they've got, you know, like Nolan and Jadakiki, you know, they've got some good quality going forward, so I think that's what they'll try and do. But look, it's up to us just to create enough chances and to take them, you know, more importantly to win the game. So a 1-0 win is what I'm going for. You know, it might not be the most exciting game, but you know, if we can just come away with the 3 points, but I'll be happy. That's always the main thing, of course. So let's hope we do the business and we can get the return of the away days off to a flyer. So that's where I'll end it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment down below what you're thinking heading into the game, your score predictions, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.